How you going, team? Coach Jono here. I did just start recording and I was going for about 5 minutes and there was a bit of a technical issue. So I've started again and I will just go through the whole thing again because Ellen said she couldn't actually hear me. So I apologize for that. So I am going to be repeating myself. So if you were watching before and you're watching again. So Ellen, please let me know if you can hear me this time. There was a technical issue. I do apologize for that. Oh, fantastic. Thank you, Ellen. Great. Okay, so let me start again because I think the audio wasn't there. And that's fine. I like hearing myself talk, so I'll repeat myself. Don't mind. So, great. Ellen can hear me. Fantastic. Thank you, Ellen. Appreciate it. And thanks for joining again. So, the pros and cons of being a personal trainer. So, I've been a personal trainer now for 4 years. I've worked in a few different places and I've definitely had, some really good experiences. And there's been those few experiences that have sort of rubbed me the wrong way. And I'd like to share with you those today and then share with you how I believe you should treat a personal trainer, because I think sometimes people forget that the trainers are real people, and just because we are fitness orientated doesn't mean that we are workout machines that only eat broccoli and grilled chicken and live in the gym just, always doing bicep curls and shoulder presses. There is a lot more to us. We are a little bit more than that one dimension. So, the pros of being a personal trainer. So, like I said, I've been a personal trainer for 4 years. So, I've had the opportunity to train a lot of different people. And one of the biggest pros, for me anyway, is that you get to work with people. I really like hanging out with people and just getting to know people in general. Because I find that very fun and exciting. I'll get to know someone. And so even if I don't necessarily train that person, I just do a consult, I really enjoy getting to know that person. Let me know a little bit about you, what's your training history like, what have you done in the past, what do you like, what don't you like. But then also on a personal level, you're married, you got kids. Hey Sonia, thanks for joining me. All of those types of things. And then when you do get to train them and you train them for a little bit, you get to go on that journey with them as well. So no matter where they are, they're brand new, they've been training for 6 months or they've been training for 6 years and they just want to go that next level. No matter where they are in their life, you get to follow them with that journey. And the journey could be for 3, 6, 12, 2 years with you, and you get to be there with them. So you get to know them as a person, and then you get to be along the journey with them. And obviously there's going to be highs, there's going to be lows. It's that roller coaster of training. And, I had that experience of training people for 2 years in the old gym I used to work at in Queensland. And that was something I really appreciated. It's very unique in that regard. Someone to come and see you 1, 2, 3 times a week. And you really get to know that person. I became very close with a lot of my members, and really got to know them really well because, they're spending time with you. And, I really enjoyed that. It's a little bit selfish of me because, I really live off that. I feed off that. So I really enjoy hanging out with people and getting to know them. So that's obviously a massive pro, working with people. Another one, of course, you're always in active wear. Great as a PT, you're always in active wear, you're always in shorts, t-shirt, and of course, your active wear is tax write-off. That's bloody fantastic. You can't say no to that. Another pro is you work in a gym. Obviously, that is a great. Obviously, if you like the gym, it's a really good place to work in. It's very fun, so you get to do some crazy stuff. You get to meet some amazing trainers. So obviously, Ellen is a trainer in the industry as well. Obviously, I've met her, and we are in contact, and it's really fun to get to know other personal trainers. And that's the same thing because you're getting to know someone, and it's on a different level because we're both in the same industry trying to achieve the same things in different areas, different niches, all of that. It's really fun. And then also like Sonia, she's a chiropractor. So again, you meet the allied health people. That's again something very unique. You're working together. I've trained some of her members. She's worked with some of my members as well. And we're sort of working together. It's always fantastic. I think it's really fantastic. yeah, so that's definitely a real advantage of being a personal trainer. And then probably the biggest thing is that sense of fulfillment. I get a massive sense of fulfillment doing what I do. And that's why I continue to do it, even when sometimes times seem hard. And then maybe I feel like I'm struggling. That is something that I really don't take for granted. I'm really, really fortunate, I believe, to be working in something I do truly love. And, even when times are tough, and it's in my perception is that times are tough for whatever reason, I still get that sense of achievement because, people are coming in and they're training. And, just over the past few days of working in the different locations that I've worked in, people have said, hey, Jono, you're a really good trainer. And I'm like, fuck yeah, like how good is that? How good is that? Like I just, it's sometimes it can be a bit of a lonely world in that regard because you're working by yourself or you're working in a smaller team, and you don't always get that constant feedback, and you're giving it out quite a lot. And you don't do it to get feedback and to get praise. You shouldn't do it for that reason. But when you do get it, you're like, yeah, that's great. When someone's like, hey, Jono, you actually did a really good job today. Thanks for training me today. I'm like, yeah, nice. I'm glad you enjoyed it, because that's what I want to train you so you actually enjoy it. I don't want you to be like, yeah, thanks for training me. It was bloody hard. Like I want you to be like, yeah, it was hard, but I bloody loved it. And that's when I'm like, yes, I've achieved that. So that's what I see as a real the pros of being in the industry. And I think there is a lot of pros, and they definitely outweigh the cons. The cons are, they can be very hard, and obviously one of the big things is the work, in regards that you don't get a constant 8 hours a day, 5 days a week of work. You sometimes you got to do split shifts, so you do the morning and maybe a little bit in the mid-morning with like sort of the stay-at-home parents, and then the entrepreneur sort of own business owners, they'll sort of come in at 9, 10-ish sort of time. And yeah, so that's the sort of world that you sort of work in, and then maybe you have to do it after work. And that's just what you've got to do, because that's the industry. I don't know of anyone that's got 40 hours a week that is like 9 to 5 style. It's generally before work and after work, and that's fine. That's what you do. And I don't mind that. I get up early to go meet people at the gym or outdoors when I'm doing my boot camps. And I'm like, well, that's what I've got to do, because I want to share my love of fitness with them, and this is when they can do it. So I've got to obviously sacrifice sleep. Who doesn't love a good sleep in? But I'm like, well, if I want to share this with someone, I've got to get up. No big deal. You're like, oh, well, that's what you've got to do. So I don't see it as that big a con. Obviously, money's always a big issue. Sometimes running your own business, it can be challenging because you've got to go find clients, you've got to obviously prospect, you've got to then sell to them, and it can be a little bit of challenge every now and then, because it's hard to sell yourself sometimes, even though you are selling, I believe, probably one of the best things in the world, which is health, because that's all you've got in this world is your health. But it can be challenging. It can be definitely challenging. And I understand that, because I've been doing it for so long now. But that's, those are the things you've got to sort of get over. But there's one thing that probably I see as the biggest con, and this is something that I do really struggle with, and this is something that I've found over the past 4 years. And it's the reason that I don't actually like calling myself a personal trainer. And that is because people put personal trainers on this very high level of expectation. They go, oh, you're a trainer. You're a trainer. So whether it's in a social setting, like, oh, hey, Jono, what do you do? Oh, I do this. Oh. Or whether you're in the gym and they come in, oh, hey, how you going? Yeah, hey, I'm Jono, the personal trainer. Oh, okay. They see you in this certain light. And that is that you just live and breathe exercise and health and fitness, and you were gifted with the natural ability of just being perfect. People see trainers as very much perfect in their eyes, and they have it easy in that regard. Because I've had this conversation with many different people in both, again, a professional and a social setting. when I tell people I'm a trainer. I remember this very vividly. It was a consult I was doing with this older gentleman. He was like in his 40s, so I was like 26 or something. So he was a bit older than me. He was almost double my age. Fair enough. And so, you know, just doing the usual thing, like, hey, how you going? You know, why did you join the gym? What do you want to get out of it? And, you know, obviously the sort of general answers, oh, I want to lose a bit of fat, build a bit of muscle. And, you know, and then he just said this sort of offhand remark where he's just like, oh, yeah, you know, it's hard because I'm not like you where you just probably eat spinach and you know, look at weights and gain muscle. Actually, no, I'm actually still human. I don't have, you know, these fantastic genetics that just allow me to only eat spinach and look at weights to gain muscle. I actually find it very hard to do those types of things. Almost exactly the same as you, but I've just prioritized my health, and because I've been doing it for so long now, I can see the results of my hard work. I think people forget that as a personal trainer, I started somewhere as well. And where I started was, I went into the gym after doing my shoulder. I had no idea. I literally had no idea, like everyone else when they first start. I was following other army guys because I was in the army at the time, and I was Googling stuff, you know, as you do. And, you know, you just get a program and you're like, oh, this seems like a good idea, and you don't know if you're doing it right because there's no personal trainer there. No personal trainer to help you, and then being a guy, oh, no, I got it. You know, hit up my mate, oh, what do you reckon? Oh, yeah, it's good. He doesn't have any qualifications. And so then I started to get more interested in it because I was seeing some results. I wanted to get better, and then I wanted to study it. And then from there, that's when I went down the rabbit hole, and you know, a few years later, I got out of the army, became a personal trainer. So, you know, I've been exercising, you know, like consistently and not just sort of ad hocly for the past like 8 years now. So probably longer. So when I joined the army at 17, and you know, that was almost 10, 12 years ago now. You know, that's when I started to actually take my fitness seriously because I had to. So I've been doing it for, you know, the first few years were pretty casual, but then once I joined the army full time, you did PT every day. You did physical training every day. And so you kind of had to get fit. If you weren't getting fit, you weren't doing it properly. So because of that, that's really helped me. And then I started getting into CrossFit, and then I really liked that. And then I changed and got into kettlebells and stuff like that. So I've been doing this for a lot longer than most people, which is fair enough. So of course I've seen better results because I've been doing it longer. So when someone comes in and says, oh, you know, you just got it easy. Unfortunately, no, I don't. I still have to go and do the push-ups. I still have to go and do the exercise to stay in shape. And if I stop, which I have because of injuries or whatever, and motivation as well, you know, I lose it, just like anyone else. And I think that is one thing that people tend to forget. And I find that very frustrating, being a personal trainer, that people hold me on such a high pedestal because of what I do, that they think that I am this, you know, yeah, just exercise machine. You know, I really do struggle with exercise sometimes. And, you know, when it is hard, I have to push through like everyone else. With my nutrition, I find nutrition very hard. I would much prefer to just, you know, go to McDonald's every day because it's easy, because it's convenient. But I know that it's going to be detrimental to my health. Because I have the knowledge, it is easier for me. It's much simpler for me to be able to do those things because I know the exercises, I've got the equipment, I've got the knowledge, you know, and I've got the body awareness because I've been doing this for a while. So it's very easy for me to actually go and exercise and eat right, but I still physically have to do it. And I think that's probably the one con of being a personal trainer. And I don't know if this is just me or whether it's everyone in the fitness industry finds this. And it's just one of those things, you know, maybe in other industries, like in other fields, like maybe a physio or chiropractor like Sonia, you know, it's like, oh, you're a healthcare professional, you probably find health easy. So yes, because you understand it, but it still doesn't make it any easier because we've still got all the same factors as you. We've still got a social life. We've still got environmental pressures, social pressures and stuff like that. You know, we just have to make the choice, and we do make the better choices And that's why we are in better shape than maybe you. So that brings me to the next point of how you should treat a personal trainer. Don't treat a personal trainer like they are above you in regards to that they just have it easy. They earn everything that they've got. So if they got a six-pack, they've got giant biceps, you know, they're real veiny and vascular. They didn't just wake up like that one day. They earned it in, you know, the Iron Gym, you know, the Iron Church. And they went in there and they did the reps. They lifted the weights and all of that. So, you know, say they can lift 200 kilos. They didn't just wake up and go, oh, all right, 200 kilos, oh, easy. They started probably with a broomstick and they worked up from there. And they probably had setbacks along the way, just like you have had when you're a personal trainer. And this is not like a personal attack. This is not like a dig at anyone. Just be mindful that, you know, trainers are humans after all. And they have the exact same, you know, problems that everyone else has. They've just prioritized their health a lot more, and they know how important health is because they've done study, they've done the research, they've worked with people, and they know the effects. You know, so I often look at my parents and I see the effects of maybe not the most optimal health. So yeah. All right, so Ellen's just commented. Let me just, sorry, I can't read. Come on, sorry. Sorry, I'm just trying to read it, Ellen. Unfortunately, I can't read it. So all I can read is, this is why I'm pretty open and honest about my story, straight up with all clients. I can't read all of it, Ellen, so I do apologise for that. So I can't see it all. But yeah, you know, I think you've got to be very open and honest. And that was because that was an initial consult. He'd never met me before, that gentleman. And, you know, I said, hey, no, that's actually not correct. Yes, I do eat spinach because I think it's nice. But, you know, I still struggle. And that's why I do this show. And I'm very honest with everyone. I'm very honest with this show about, you know, my struggles. And this is why I reflect and try and share that with you. Obviously, a lot of my friends are trainers, and then, you know, I've got, you know, regular folk, you know, and all of that. So it's very interesting. I find the whole fitness industry very interesting because as a whole, we generally only show the best. So obviously, using Instagram as an example, generally people only put up their good photos. Hey, John, thanks for joining me, mate. They only put up their best photos because you want to put your best foot forward, of course. So just for an example, if you've got a great six-pack, you're going to take a good photo of your six-pack and make sure the lighting's correct and the angle and and, you know, obviously all of that. You're not going to necessarily put up a photo of you. Some do, some don't. You got to see. And that's when I see the real trainers. The real trainers will put up the real photos of themselves. Because, you know, I don't have a six-pack. Probably never will. Doesn't really bother me because that's not what I see as, if I don't have back issues and I've got a strong core and can, you know, do a you know, exercise without hurting my back. That is what is important to me in regards to core strength. Whether it looks good or not is, you know, something else. Hopefully it looks all right. But yeah, you know, that's the thing. That's how I see sort of the fitness industry. Sometimes there's the very fake, and then because that's publicized more, because people like that, because it's aspirational and it's inspiring, like, oh, look at that person there in great condition and look how good they are, and then they start to think like, oh man, they've got it so easy, because all they see is the good stuff. And then, you know, that's sort of a little bit deceptive on the other person's part, and maybe they show them only eating the good stuff, and maybe they'll show like one cheap meal and they go, oh man, I wish I could eat that and, you know, still have a six-pack. And then they show it in the gym, but they don't show it all. They don't show, because you're only going to take one photo. You're not going to take like 100 photos of your gym workout. But, you know, they don't necessarily say how actual hard it is, because those people, to get that six-pack, it's probably pretty hard. But they make it seem easy because that's an easy sell. It's an easy sell. So, I don't know, a bit of a ramble, guys, bit of a ramble, but I just really wanted to make it clear that yes, personal trainers at the end of the day are people, and I know you're probably all, oh, obviously, but treat them like people then, and, you know, show them that, yeah, okay, you are in good shape, but you probably earned it. Of course, genetics do play a little bit of a part in it, but obviously also not, over-consuming and under-exercising play a big part of it. Generally, trainers are very active. I'd hope so. They're very active, so then they can eat a little bit more. That's just, sort of the general gist. So I think that's something very important. And, if you're picking a trainer, make sure you get to know them a little bit better and actually understand them a little bit more. But, that's I think, the one con that I see in the industry, that trainers are held to a very high standard. And that is why I actually don't call myself a trainer. I call myself a coach, because I think I do a little bit more than just a trainer. So that's why I use the term coach. And I think I'm a pretty unique individual in that regard. That's what I wanted to share with you today, team. I think the fitness industry is absolutely fantastic. I absolutely love it, and I want to stay in the fitness industry for my entire life. I really hope I can, for being in the fitness industry and helping people, because that's how I get fulfillment. I really enjoy meeting people, like I said at the start of the show. I really enjoy meeting people. I really like getting to know people and being on that journey with them, whether it's 3 months or 3 years, seeing them go from not exercising to something, or whether they're already exercising and going from, to that next level. That's really what I like to do. Take that person next level, whatever that may be. And, that's something I really appreciate. But yeah, just that one little gripe I have. Everything else you take on the chin, because there's always going to be stuff that you don't like in your work. No job is perfect, and that's fine. You accept that. So it's just that one gripe. So hopefully you've enjoyed this session, team. I've gone back to the mornings. I tried last week doing it in the afternoons. It didn't work as well. Got some feedback that you prefer it in the morning, so I'm back here in the mornings. I will be doing Mindful Monday tomorrow at 7 a.m. and then again Workout Wednesday at 7 a.m. So on this channel, and it is daylight savings change over, so be mindful of that. If you haven't changed your clocks, change your clocks, team, because I got caught out this morning. My phone changed, my watch didn't, got a bit confused. But so for all my trainer friends, go share this with some people to make sure that they know that yes, you are human, even though sometimes you may not act like it. But yeah, share that with them, team. Cool. Thank you very much, team. Have a great Sunday, and thanks for joining me.